It's easy to feel like you're alone or misunderstood because you're living with the illness that not too many people know about or can relate. I'm KJ Rogers, and I have sickle cell anemia.
KJ, good looking, baby. Yeah.
Sickle cell disease affects millions of people worldwide. Sickle cell disease is the most common inherited blood disorder in the United States, affecting 70,000 to 80,000 Americans. The disease is estimated to occur in 1 in 500 African Americans and 1 in 1,000 to 1,400 Hispanic Americans. Now, to some of you that may not know the severity of sickle cell, it can lead to near-death situations. Now, this video definitely hits home because I'm a person that has sickle cell and was diagnosed with it at birth. Usually I go into depth about player analysis, stats, NBA stories, theories, but this story goes way beyond that. This person who was also diagnosed with sickle cell anemia at birth made it all the way to the NBA. And that player is Billy Garret Jr.
In my lack of maturity, I didn't fully understand that having sickle cell was a sign it's not a sign of weakness.
DePaul senior guard Billy Garret Jr. is believed to be the only Division I athlete afflicted with sickle cell disease, a blood disorder brought on by stress, fatigue, or dehydration.
I'm just listening to my body and when I need to stop and hydrate and then go out there and do what I gotta do.
So it's a daily process?
It's definitely a daily process, it's something that you gotta have in your mind at all times.
Now, sports are never really ideal medication for patients with sickle cell disease. In fact, many of us are really restrained from our doctors from partaking in any seasonal sports at a very young age by our doctors. But his parents were kind of unaware at the time. His dad said, and I quote, "Because what he has was so rare, it was just dumb logic on my part." And I was like, how do they know he can't do it if you just started testing for this in the 70s? Garret said, "My wife and I probably didn't understand the significance. But despite the diagnosis, Billy was an active kid. He would play basketball, baseball, and football until he was tired. He would sit down and return once he felt refreshed. But every time he pushed himself a little bit further, working on his endurance in spite of his illness." Born and raised in Chicago, Billy attended Morgan Park High School, and as a senior, he led the team to the 2013 IHSA 3A state championship over Cahokia High School, and it was Morgan Park's first title since 1976. In basketball was in Billy. His grandfather was the first African American to play at the Big Ten Conference varsity basketball team at Indiana University from 1947 to 1951. Those same genes that bestowed Billy with sickle cell also made him a gifted athlete. Sickle cell causes sporadic crises of pain that requires hospitalization and crippling fatigueness that needs to be managed. But the thing is, out of the 20+ million people in the world living with sickle cell today, Billy is the only one that made it to the NBA. Billy attended DePaul University, where his father, Billy Sr., was the assistant coach for the men's basketball team. Billy ranked 94th on ESPN's 100 list and wasn't heavily recruited, but with the chance to prove himself came more bumps down the road. During his freshman year, he averaged 12.4 points and 3.2 assists per game. In January of 2014, Garret faced a near-death experience with his sickle cell while the team was traveling, where DePaul's trainers rushed him to a hospital in Newark, New Jersey as soon as they landed. That's when the Garrets knew that they couldn't afford to underestimate the afflictions of their son's bout. "It scared me," Billy Jr. said. His dad described it more vividly, as if he just walked out of the emergency room. "He had no color in his skin, and I just thought he was going to die," Billy Sr. said. "I lost 12 pounds in 5 days just worrying." Every restless day of recovery, Billy Jr. questioned himself whether college basketball was really for him anymore. While every restless night, his father was asking himself, quote, "What have I done to my son?" A week later, Garret resumed a fine freshman season that earned the 6'6" Garret the Big East Rookie of the Year. As a junior, he averaged 12.6 points and 3.5 assists to go with 3 rebounds per game. Garret's intentions was to make a huge impact on his school. He said, and I quote, "I wanted to come in and help change the culture and bring a positive outlook on DePaul basketball, city, and nationwide." And as a senior, he averaged 15 points per game while shooting 36% from 3. He was awarded the Big East Scholar Athlete of the Year as a senior, and Garret finished his career as DePaul's all-time leader in made free throws. And in April 2nd, Garret signed a 10-day contract with the New York Knicks, and in 4 games, he averaged 6.5 points per game. And in January 2nd of 2020, Garret officially signed with the Greek club in Larissa for the remainder of the season. And that's the story of Billy Garret Jr. Billy is definitely a hero in the sickle cell community as we look at him as a leader. That's why I did this video, because never in a million years, had you told me this when I was younger, would I ever thought there would be a person with sickle cell that actually made it to the National Basketball Association. And to me, that's huge. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, like and subscribe. KJ the producer, and I'm out.